Welcome, everybody, to Let's Talk, the Todd Worsham Show. Oh, my God. What a, oh, what a journey the last couple of weeks. So I finally got, finally got done with that airplane. My job finally ended. Had a big storm that came in, tore my patio off the back of my house. Then my internet wasn't working. Oh my God. So I finally got everything good. I'm back up to what I'm paying for. So here we are. We're back on, and I apologize. I'm like a week late. Anyway, so today's episode is going to be a few things here. Um, I've been coming across a lot of good videos on X, and something I've been researching for a little while, and I've been talking and telling people for years. Um, Y'all know I'm a boomer. I was raised on butcher meats and farm market foods with a little bit of boxed foods here and there. Growing up as a child, I think Kraft macaroni and cheese was like my totally go-to food. I used to eat that by the box full. But other than that, I grew up with my grandparents, by the way. Grandma used to make a big, huge pot of pinto beans and ham hocks. And although she didn't make the tortillas fresh, we always had tortillas. Even though I grew up in the heart of California, I didn't really grow up with bread. I grew up with tortillas. I mean, we had bread, don't get me wrong, and we had sandwiches, but peanut butter and jelly sandwich was not really a big thing in our house. For me, it was, and I know this sounds really weird, but as a child, I loved banana sandwiches. Couldn't get enough bananas when I was a child. And my other favorite thing was avocado sandwiches, which I still eat today. Bananas, I kind of stay away from because you got to put too much sugar on the sandwich, and I don't do sugar anymore. So I try to stay away from all those sugar, all that sugar. So anyway, so today's episode is kind of going to be about our health and all that kind of stuff, and some foods. And I'm going to give you a couple recipes, one for liver cleansing and one for liver and kidney cleansing. Really basic stuff, and recommend that you get the organic fruits and vegetables, because with the other stuff you really don't know what you're getting, because my research has shown me that pretty much anything that's not completely organic is GMO, which means genetically modified organism. Um, Even your organic stuff can be GMO'd, because just because it's organically grown doesn't mean it hasn't been genetically tampered with. So you got to really be careful. You know, I've talked about this before. Wheat used to be, what was it, 6 feet tall? Wheat is now 18 inches tall. So even if it's grown organically, if it's the 18-inch tall wheat, it is still a GMO. And with everything going on in the world today, it's really hard to trust or believe anything that you see or read anymore. It really is. So anyway, so I wanted to start out with a video I found on X last night. Um, Another one of my sleepless nights, thinking about everything. This person's called Jillian Michaels, and she did a speech. I believe it was to Congress. I don't know that for a fact, so don't quote me on that. But I can see that she's in a meeting. But anyway, so I watched the article, and also RFK has been saying the same thing for years, and I've been saying this for years and years. The obesity rate since the 80s has gone up like 40%. So basically, almost, if not more than half the population in the United States is obese. Why? It all goes back to food. and I've said this I don't know how many times. But anyway, she makes the epic presentation about chronic diseases epidemic, one she describes as an extinction level event. Okay, so that's pretty intense, extinction level. And I know people think that I'm a conspiracy freak and all this kind of stuff, but I was around. When I grew up, there was nobody fat. I mean, to be overweight in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s was pretty much unheard of. In fact, you were mocked, and you were. I'm not saying it was right. I'm just telling you what happened. Normally, I can remember growing up in school. We had this guy Glenn, and I don't remember his last name, but I just remember Glenn, and he was a biggie, and people. I felt really bad for him because well, I don't know if he had some type of underlying condition or whatever. I don't know what he ate, and I don't know what his issues were. It could have been from vaccines. It could have been from the eating. It could have just been genetic. Who knows? That's not my point. My point is he was completely condemned and mocked, and he was like pushed out of the clan to say, he didn't fit in. And it used to really, really bother me because I thought to myself, well, instead of doing that to him, maybe we should get to know him, and which I did. We actually turned out to be good friends. I felt bad for him, but his parents were also heavy. So we at that time we just assumed that it was genetics, and to this day, I mean, I don't know. I'm not making any assumptions or anything. But I like this thing about with Jillian Michaels because she points out that since the 80s, our food has been systematically, completely changed um, at the farm level, and then up to now, probably about 80% of everything that we consume is processed. Now, processing by nature isn't really that bad, but when you start adding all these chemicals to it that our body doesn't understand what they are, bad things start happening. And I've been preaching this for years and years and years. I have pretty much, for the most part, have always ate healthy. I'm 61 years old. I take no medications, none. I am in pretty good health. Yes, I'm a little overweight. I know that. I'm getting back down. I'm slowly getting back down. I'm losing probably about a half a pound a week or so. So it's coming down steady, and I'm just staying on this train to get my health back because 61 is, I don't even know what that means, to be honest with you. It's just, to me, it's just a number because I don't know what I'm supposed to feel like at 61, but I'm full of energy and full of life, and I love everything, and I just love to live. So I don't. I can remember when I was young, when someone was in their 60s, they were like old. They were retired because back in those days you retired at 55, and then right after everybody retired, they died. I can remember this in my neighborhood because, like I said, I grew up with my grandparents, and all these people came back from World War II. They worked for 40 years, and as soon as they all started retiring, they just pop, 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 pop. They just all started. I watched it in my neighborhood. I mean, it was I don't know. It was mortifying to me. It just didn't. I just didn't understand it, and I look back at it now, and it's because of the way society tells us what to do and what to be. Um, so back in those days, when you were 55, you were retired, and that's what you did. You just did nothing. You just, I don't know. You ceased to exist. And then not only that, like one of my fears is I always say I'm going to retire, but in my heart of hearts, I know I never will. And yeah, some of it may be for money, but 90% of it's to keep my brain, my body, and my life to the fullest I can be. So it's not, yeah, it is monetarily, especially right now, because I made some bad mistakes. And but to me, I just can't phantom not working. And then also, I've learned too that if I were to retire, I'd kind of like maybe lose my identity and lose my meaning and lose everything that I was or that I should be. And I think this is really important for people to understand. Don't do that. No matter if you're retired or working or whatever you're doing, God has a purpose for you. We all have a purpose. And don't let those purposes slide away and fall away. Stay healthy, stay fit, um, exercise, walking, even stretching is good. I mean, just to wake up in the morning and stretch for 5 minutes, and then stretch a couple times a day, which is more of what I do. I don't really go out right now, but the weather's starting to cool down here, so where you can get out. But here in Arizona in the summertime, it's just too damn hot. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. And then if you go to the gym, it's so crowded, it's nasty, and I don't like that. Anyway, so Julian is claiming basically that our food is so bad, and I agree with her, that we're going to start seeing the health of people go down so fast and so dramatically that people are just going to start just, well, I would say start dying off, but that's not true because this is where, here's another one of my conspiracy theories. This is where big pharma comes in. So that's another thing she's talking about. She talks about in the article or in the speech how most of her female friends are on some type of um, depression medication or anxiety medication. Why? So, and that kind of made me start thinking about all the research I've done, and there is a direct connection between the foods you eat and your mental capacity and your mental wellness and your emotional wellness. So when you eat garbage, your body becomes garbage. So your brain doesn't function at the levels that it needs to because it doesn't have the oxygen it needs. It doesn't have the vitamins and minerals it needs. It doesn't have the fats that it needs. All these things that your body needs to perform at a high level are just at a level to be, good. All the foods that we're eating today are taking away all those vitamins and minerals that our body needs. So my suggestion is because that's what I do. I'm a seed planter. Remember that. I don't tell people what to do. I just put information out there. But my opinion and my suggestion is to start eating more fruits and vegetables, red meats, fish. I didn't know this, but in my research and my learning, I'm learning that chicken and pork are really not good meats for you to eat. I mean, they're okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't ever eat them. I'm just saying if you're going to eat a meat on a regular basis, grass-fed beef is it's not even open for negotiation. Grass-fed beef is the protein of choice for our human bodies. Period. This isn't you. You can argue with me all day long, and I will show you proof all day long that that's a fact. We are not herbivores, so vegan does not work. We are omnivores. We require vegetables, fruits, and meats. Our body requires all these proteins, vitamins, and minerals from both of these items. Like the bug thing that they've been pushing, it's kind of gone away a little bit, but or maybe it hasn't. I don't know. Maybe it's underground now or some shit, whatever. But um, bugs and plants cannot replace the required protein of beef. Now, see, here's another problem that the government does to us, or the social media, or mainstream media, or whatever. They talk to you about protein. Oh yeah, well, crickets have got protein. Well, this plant has got protein. Yeah, you're right. It does have protein, but they're the wrong proteins. The COVID virus is a protein. Okay. Are you going to go around eating COVID virus? I mean, so quit getting hooked on words and understand the true meaning of what gives you what. For example, if you want the true proteins that our body needs, choose red meat. And actually have some fat, because here's another myth busted. Your body requires saturated fats. Always has and always will. And I was brainwashed into, when I grew up, telling me that saturated fats were awful. They were going to clog your arteries. They were going to give you heart attacks. And you know what's funny? My whole adult life, my favorite part of the steak is the fat, because that's where all the flavor is. And everybody was telling, oh, you're going to die. You're going to have a heart attack. And then I go to the doctor and see, I think I was 50 something years old. And they checked my heart and everything and said, dude, your heart's like a 35-year-old. And I started laughing. He's like, what's so funny? I go, because everybody tells me I'm going to die because I eat beef fat. I said, because when everybody else cuts the fat off, I usually grab everybody's fat and I eat it because I love it so much. It's tender, it melts in your mouth. It's so full of flavor. Don't get me wrong, I love the meat. And the other thing too is I don't overcook my meat. I like my meat little bloody, not like, mooing. And it depends on what type of steak it is too. So, it varies, but yeah, so we need the proteins from red meat, period. Deer, cow, bison, all those natural foods that God gave us to eat. We require those. So in combination with that, we need like a lot of citrus fruits. I'm learning are really good for your kidney and liver. Really good. Like for me, I suffer from chronic kidney stones. It's horrible. I give birth like I've had a lot of babies, and it hurts. It's a lot of pain, and I've done a lot of research and found out that there's things that actually keep you from getting those, and there's foods that keep your liver cleansed and keep it healthy, and your kidneys. So my point is, when you go out to eat, because we all do it. I mean, even I do it. You go to McDonald's, get a filet of fish. A filet of fish is, I've done research on this. It's actually one of the very few foods, actually, I think it's the only food at McDonald's that isn't processed. When you get a filet of fish, it is actually a pollock. Because I think originally was, if I remember correctly, it was originally halibut. And then it went to, I can't remember what it went to. It went to another fish. Oh, cod. It went from halibut, which I didn't know this. It went from halibut to cod to now pollock. So I did a little bit of research on pollock. And pollock is really high in omega-3s. And I can't believe I'm telling you to eat McDonald's. But filet of fish has always been my favorite meal there. Always. And it's just kind of ironic, or kind of like, I don't know, it's weird actually. That's usually what I always get when I go there. And every once in a while I crave like a Big Mac or a quarter. I haven't had a quarter pounder in a long time, but I try to stay away from McDonald's, period. Especially I'm sure we've all seen on TV or on X or on some place how they make the chicken nuggets. Oh my god! So basically, they put chickens in one side. It comes out like a creamy, gooey paste, and that's a chicken nugget. And then they mix. I think I'd said this, maybe not, on one of my other episodes, but they found something like, I think it was 1,800 different DNAs in one single hamburger patty. I don't know. So I can't remember the exact number anymore. I could be real off on that, but my point being is a lot. So you're saying, well, what does that mean? Well, so now you're getting meat from all these different, even though they're all cows, they're from all different types of cows or all different kinds of cows, and you just shouldn't be doing that. That's really actually really bad. I'm sure growing up you've always been told don't mix your pork with your beef and your chicken. And like if you take any type of cooking classes, they'll tell you chicken is like the worst. You have to wash it. You have to wash your hands. If you use the cutting board, you have to wash the cutting board. You have to wash the knife because the bacteria from the chicken can't be intermixed with other meats or other things because it can kill you. That's how bad chicken is. And I love Cane's chicken strips. I stay away from as much as I can, but I do. I have my fast food places that I really like. And Cane's is probably one of my. I love Cane's. I like their Texas toast. Yeah. Let's get into bread. So I was craving bread a while ago, and I thought, well, I'm probably not going to eat it all because I know how I am with bread. I don't eat bread that often, so I'm just going to buy a cheap loaf. I think it was Fry's $1.50. I think it was called Rainbow Bread or something. So I bought that. It's like $1.50. It's cheap because normal bread's like $3.50 to $5. So I bought that. It sat in my cupboard for 6 weeks. Not a single piece of mold on it. Now, some of you might think that's great, but it isn't. Bread's got yeast in it, right? Yeast? Yeast is what? It's a bacteria. It's actually a living organism. So that should tell you right there, if bread doesn't mold within, I would say 4 to 5 days, you probably don't want to eat it because it is probably 90% preservatives. And again, your body doesn't know how to process this stuff. Like, let's take Diet Coke. Everyone thinks if they drink Diet Coke, they can eat that hamburger. Doesn't work that way. Your body has no idea how to process synthetic sugar. Doesn't even know what to do with it. You stick it in your body, and your body's got it's sitting there scratching its head like, what the fuck do I do with this? Where do I put it? So what ends up happening? It ends up storing it. It ends up creating more fat. So you can actually get fatter by drinking diet soda than if you drink regular soda because regular soda has freaking sugar in it. And your body knows what sugar is. It knows how to process it. Now, I'm not saying to go out and eat sugar, but I'm just saying as far as your body's knowledge on what it needs and how it processes things that we intake, sugar is a known product for your body. It knows what to do with it. Uses it as energy. Synthetic sweeteners, your body has no idea. Pesticides, your body has no idea. Preservatives, your body has no idea. So think about every day when you wake up and first thing you eat to the last thing that you ate in that day. Just think about this. I want you to do this. I want you to write it all down. Do this. And then once you've written it all down, break it all down and try to figure out how much processed food that you're eating. Like me, I nibble on blackberries and raspberries right now are my thing. And then I change it to something else, to watermelon, to oranges, to apples, to grapes, to pears. I love pears. Pears are really high in fiber too. And I move it around because there are so many fruits that for me, it's impossible to ever get tired of fruit. And fruit is probably my number one food. I probably eat, my diet is probably literally probably 70% fruit. I'm not kidding you. I eat a lot of fruit. And then like my latest new thing, it's not fruit, but I found Fry's has this little package, it's $6, and I think it's a half a pound, or maybe it's a pound. I don't know. Actually, I never even looked at what the weight is on it. But anyway, it's a carton full of shaved beef. Oh my god! Throw some olive oil in the pan, big old slab of butter, some salt and pepper, and you have got the best Arby's sandwiches you have ever eaten. And actually, I don't have the bread; I just have the meat, and then I usually make Brussels sprouts with that, or broccoli, or something like that. But and of course, I'm lazy, so I use the frozen Brussels sprouts. And I look on the back, and usually frozen foods by nature don't require and or have the same amount of preservatives that processed stuff does. Um, and the other good thing is too, now I don't know how factual this is, but the research I've shown shows it's pretty true. When you buy frozen vegetables, they're flash frozen, which means that they are picked at their ripeness. Whereas 90% of everything that you buy in the grocery store, especially like tomatoes and oranges and lemons and limes and other fruits, are picked before they're ripened. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, you don't get all the nutrients, the vitamins and nutrients from food until they're ripened, right? Because it has to extract all the vitamins and minerals from the ground. Because you got to remember, when you're eating plants, you're eating the dirt. You're eating the planet. You're eating, because basically what the plant does is it takes the vitamins and minerals and all that stuff from the soil, from the ground, and it feeds itself and it creates a fruit. And through the process, it fills those fruits up, filled with vitamins and minerals. And that's why, like, for example, I had a pomegranate tree one time, and I couldn't keep the birds off of it. I had pomegranate shit all over my patio, all over my backyard. And I don't know if you know about pomegranates, but they stain everything. They stain. And this is before we had Oxy, so yeah, I had a lot of scrubbing to do. Oh, that's the other thing too. Drink lots of water. Water, we are 70% water. We need water to reproduce our blood or to replenish our blood. Water, your blood moves the oxygen through your brain and through the rest of your body. So the more water you drink, I'm not saying like drinking, a ton, but you should drink, I believe it's 50% of your body weight. So if you weigh 140 pounds, you want to drink, well, is that right? 70, yeah, 70 ounces. I'm right at 200. So I never get to my number. I usually only drink probably about 60. I usually drink about 70 ounces of water a day. But at least I'm doing that and keeping my blood replenished. And the other really healthy vegetable that no one ever talks about and you don't ever hear about it is beets. Beets have some really good elements to them that help oxygenate your brain. They feed your muscles. And since I've been doing them, I can definitely feel the energy difference. I mean, when I have, and I'm not going to do this week, but next week I'm going to give you some of those. Actually, I think I do have one this week. I do. It's part of the liver cleanse. So yeah, beets. And the good thing about all this stuff is you can mix the fruits with the vegetables, and then don't forget God's gift to the whole planet is honey. And I don't know how true this is. I've read some articles that when you use a stainless steel spoon, it kills the enzymes in the honey. Now, I haven't dug into that deep enough to see if that's actually proven true. But just in case it is, I don't use a spoon anymore. I don't use a metal spoon anymore. I actually keep my honey in a little honey bear container, and I just squirt it all over the place because I probably consume 3 to 4 tablespoons of honey a day. It's one of my favorite foods. And it's one of the only foods on the planet that never decays, never rots. I don't know if you heard or seen the article, but they had just found a jar of honey. I think it was in Egypt that was 3,500 years old, and it was still fresh as the day it was put in the jar. Still had all its nutrients, everything. That it's a food from the gods. I mean, from God. Um, it's, in my opinion, one of the best foods. It has so many healing properties. And then the other two things that I highly recommend that you put in all these things, and even though they don't have it in here, I would recommend adding it, would be either turmeric and or ginger. Um, I didn't know this, but I didn't realize how potent ginger is. Because I always wondered how come Asians are always thin and slim, and they eat the same shit we eat over here in America, right? Well, they eat a lot of ginger, and I started researching ginger, and ginger like speeds up your metabolism. It helps your stomach stay slim. It gets rid of crap in your stomach. It helps your digestive process. It does a lot of really cool things, and it's really easy to buy here. I don't know, what country you guys are in or where you're at, but here in Arizona, it's readily available in the market. I and it's cool because you don't need much, and God, one root will last me a month because you only need just a little bit, and then I boil a lot of my stuff and then use it as a drink. But I'm going to give you a couple recipes of stuff that you can actually just put in the blender and then just drink once or twice a day. And I highly advise you to. Oh, another thing too: turmeric and ginger, cancer fighting, cancer fighting. It has been scientifically proven that turmeric and ginger fight off cancer cells. In fact, if you take them daily, your odds of getting cancer in the first place are slim to none. This is a fact. This is not my opinion. This has been clinically and scientifically proven. So I'm not giving you garbage here. I would never give you misinformation ever. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm not wrong. It just means I would never intentionally give you bad information. And I mean that sincerely. And if you find out something I did tell you wrong or whatever, please correct me. I am humble. And I can, if it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. So, anyway, so I'm going to start out with a liver cleanse. Now, I haven't tried this yet, but oh God, I forgot to buy the oranges. Anyway, I thought I had bought everything for it, but I just realized I didn't buy the oranges. Because I came off my orange spree a little while ago, and then my tree out in front, I've got blood oranges that are just coming into ripeness, but we'll see. But at any rate, so a good liver cleanse, and you want to have this 1 glass a day on an empty stomach. That's what I do. First thing in the morning, I have my little mixture that I do, and I can give you that recipe for that too, because it's done me really well. So anyway, so you want oh, the celery sticks got the flavonoids. Okay, I got side notes on here, and I don't remember what my side notes are. Okay, so you want a one chopped celery stick, one peeled beet, chop it up, and a green apple, It didn't say whether it's peeled. I would not peel it. I would wash it I would wash it and not peel it, but I would seed it, cut it up, and put all this in a blender, and then add the juice of 2 oranges. So it's not telling you to actually put the orange in there, which I think is kind of strange, but I think I'd rather have the whole orange in there because a lot of the good parts of fruit are actually in the skin or they're in the rind, and but it's just telling you just to use the. I haven't tried this one yet, so um, I'm gonna try it. I guess when I go grocery shopping this weekend. So recap: 1 chopped celery stick, 1 peeled beet chopped, 1 green apple de-seeded, chopped, skin on, and the juice of 2 oranges put into a blender. Mix up for a couple minutes, um, and take 1 glass a day, and take it on an empty stomach. So you only need to do this for a week or so, maybe 2 weeks tops, but you don't need to do this one all the time. And I'll personally probably put when I do this. In fact, I already know I'm going to. I'm going to put a little bit of ginger and turmeric in there because I put ginger and turmeric in everything now. But turmeric's expensive. It's $9.99 a pound here in Arizona. It's $10 a pound, but you don't need that much. I usually buy like an eighth of a pound, so it's not that bad. It's like 250, and that eighth will last me. Oh God, I think my last one's lasted probably about 6 weeks. Um, but again, the tincture that I'm doing right now is a boil down, like a tea juice or whatever. I boil it, so and I can give you that recipe too because I'll do that. All right, so my next one for the day is liver and kidney cleanse. Okay, so again, I forgot to buy something on here. I forgot to buy the tomatoes. So this one, I'm gonna try this one too. Probably, I'll probably try the first liver cleanse, and then I'll give it a break, and then I'll go back a couple weeks later and try this one. And this one I think is really going to be really good. So this one has one bunch. So like when you go buy the organic spinach, it usually comes in a bunch, and I don't know what it is where you're at, but I think I paid $2.50 for it. 1 lemon, 1 green apple, 2 small tomatoes, a piece of ginger, and it says 300 milliliters of water. So you put all that in a blender, you blend it, and again, remember with all these things, these recipes that I give you, they should all be taken on an empty stomach. And the reason for that is because if you take it after you've eaten, then it kind of mixes with the foods that you've already had, and then your body can't really absorb it all, the way it's supposed to. So take these on an empty stomach, so that way your body, as soon as it gets into your intestines and your colon and everything, it just starts. Because that's where all of our minerals are absorbed at. Everybody thinks it's our stomach, but it's not. It's further down. Your stomach is full of a chemical that breaks down your food. It's like an acid. That's where acid reflux comes from. It's just fluid from your stomach. So your stomach basically breaks the food down, and then it goes down through your colon, and then your colon sucks all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs to perform from there. So drink all these on an empty stomach, and then that way you'll get the full benefits of these juices. So the one I'm taking right now, and I've been doing this for probably I want to say 4 to 6 weeks. I've been doing this one for a while, and I got to write it down to remember everything. But I'm doing two lemons, 2 limes, a pinch of, oh, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, it's not sage. Oh, I'm brain farting. I apologize. Anyway, in a pinch, two or three bay leaves. Um, and I can't remember what the benefit of the bay leaves are. Oh, and here's another thing too. Whenever you use turmeric, always use. Well, I've been using whole pepper, and I think I've been doing it wrong. Um, I'm learning that you're supposed to use ground pepper. But anyway, anytime you use turmeric, use ground pepper, and the chemical reaction between the pepper and the turmeric intensifies the turmeric up to 200%. Awesome. It just like kicks it into gear. And if you want to know what turmeric does, turmeric takes away all those aches and pains in your joints. I mean, all of them. Because up until I was taking this, I was paying $100 a month for Relief Factor, which really works, by the way. I recommend if you have pain in your knees and you have pain, all over your body and your joints, Relief Factor does work. I will tell you that straight up. But I got tired of paying $100 a month for it. So I decided to find ways to do that on a more sustainable level. And I found turmeric, and turmeric it's another gift from God. It takes away a lot of pain. I mean, a lot. So I'm okay. So recap: I had 2 lemons, 2 limes. God, I almost want to go in the kitchen, but I don't want to walk away. Oh, cloves. That's what it is, cloves. So put in a pinch of cloves, and this is just something I've added because cloves really do some good stuff for you. Pepper, turmeric, and ginger, and I can't think. And the pepper. So I think that's all I put in there. And then what I do is I boil it on high for a few minutes, couple of minutes, and then I turn the heat down to medium, low medium, and I let it boil for about another 10 minutes. And then I strain it into a big, tall, well, it's actually my Ninja cup, my Ninja blender cup. I strain it and put it in there and then put it in the refrigerator, and I have 3 shots a day. So I have 1 shot right when I wake up in the morning before I do anything. The first thing I do is I go to the fridge, I shake it up, I pour my little glass, and the cool thing is you only need like 3 ounces, I do probably more than I should. I do probably 4 or 5 ounces, but you just need I got a little special glass that I use. It's actually an old jelly jar. It's perfect. So I fill that up probably about a quarter of the way, maybe a third of the way full. And sometimes I heat it and sometimes I don't. And I don't know why this is, but at nighttime I like to heat it up. It just feels good going down. And then the other thing you can do too, because another one of God's, not the God's, but the God, another one of God's gifts is honey. And I highly recommend you just put a little squirt of, now, if you can, do not buy honey in the store. I am personally blessed. Here in Arizona, we have honey all over this city. You you can buy honey on a lot of corners here, especially in the West Valley. And then I think if you go way out like the Santan Valley or out in the east, there's honey here everywhere. And it's pricey. It's $25 a jar. A jar usually lasts me 1 to 2 months or so, especially since I don't drink coffee anymore, because when I drink coffee, I put a teaspoon in my coffee every morning, but I don't do that anymore. But I still have probably two to 3 spoonfuls a day. And so, yeah, it'll last you at least a month, 6 weeks or so. So anyway, those are some recipes. I highly recommend you try them. And give me some feedback, because I don't know, you guys never feedback on me. But give me some feedback and let me know what you think of these recipes, because I'm telling you, especially that last one I gave you, The last one I gave you, it literally shrank my stomach by 4 inches. And according to the scale, I'm losing about a half a pound a week, which is, from all my research, is the perfect way to lose weight. Losing weight in massive amounts of poundage is really bad. It's bad for your body. It's not healthy. And more than likely, when you lose weight like that, you're just going to gain it all back, because the fact is diets don't work. You Instead of doing diets, you need to change how you think about food, and you need to understand the nutritional values of what you eat. And the other thing is too, we don't need to eat all that much. I mean, look it up. History has shown that man only needs one meal like every couple days. We don't need that much food. And look at what we do. We eat 3 meals. I mean, meals a day. That's insanity. That's why people poop so much. You know, you should only be pooping once a day, or once every other day. Once a day is like good. If you're pooping more than once a day, you're eating garbage, and that's your body telling you that. Because when you poop, you're pooping out all the stuff that your body can't process. So the more you poop, the more garbage that your body's getting rid of, because you're eating all these foods that have no nutritional value. And if you want to burning calories is in your urine. That's when you know you're losing weight, is when you're urinating, 3, 4, 5 times a day, and you got a good urination. That means you're burning calories, not pooping. Everybody thinks, oh, I poop, so I'm losing weight. No, 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 no. Pooping just means that you're eating garbage. Urinating means you're losing weight. And at the same time, you're drinking the water too. So the water is flushing your kidneys. It's strengthening your liver. It's getting rid of that fat on your liver. And it's not hard to do these things. And it's not hard to carry. Like when I used to Uber, I used to carry cuties or apples or pears in my car. So when I got hungry at 1:30 in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, instead of stopping at Jack in the Box and getting some tacos, I would just open my center console and I'd have an apple, and it would give me energy throughout the night, and I would feel good. It would fill me up. It's full of fiber, so it would help clean me out, and and I didn't get dragged down. So God gave us everything that we need to be healthy. Used it. And a lot of it's cheap. I mean, it's not. It can be expensive to eat healthy if you're not picking your foods right. But turmeric's a little expensive. But other than that, I mean, because we shouldn't be eating all that much. And I probably eat, well, I go through my little binges. Sometimes, like on the weekends, sometimes I'll eat way too much, and I'll feel it, because I'll feel dragged down, and I'll feel, like ugh. Like when you go out, like over last weekend, I went up to his streets of New York. Big beautiful bowl of spaghetti and meatballs. Oh man, was it good? Man, I got home and I couldn't even get off the couch. Wanted to watch a movie, and I'm sitting there the rest of the night with my eyes just, going, whoa, whoa, whoa. But then, I think about, well, shit, if I just would have ate a little bit of my beef with some Brussels sprouts and a couple pieces of fruit, I would be wide awake. I'd be functioning properly. I would be feeling good. And I wouldn't be feeling weighed down, and, all those things. So it's not hard. And it's fairly simple to keep some of these foods, take with you. If you're a woman, throw it in your purse. Throw an apple in your purse. Throw a pear in there. Throw, a peach or some grapes in a bag or something like that, and throw it in your purse, and it's there for you for energy. And your body will love you for this. And then not only that, but a lot of fruits, they're antitoxins. I mean, they're the exact opposite of the shit you eat through the drive-through. The crap you eat in the drive-through are toxins, and the gifts that God gave us are antitoxins. So I mean, just think about that. I want you to just think about it. Just think about how you think about food. That's the biggest seed that I want to plant here with you people. Think about what you eat, what you put in your body, and think about what it does for your body and how it helps your body. And if it doesn't help it, don't eat it. Or don't eat it as much. I mean, that's the biggest thing I did. But again, like I said, I'm human. I go through my binges. Sometimes I crave Taco Bell, which is probably one of the nastiest places to go to. But I do. I crave the bean and cheese burritos sometimes. I gotta have one. It's just and probably another one of the worst ones is Jack in the Box tacos. I love them. And then like I said again, Cane's. I mean, but Cane's is you're not buying anything processed, as far as I know. In-N-Out Burger, I don't think you're buying anything processed. All the vegetables are fresh daily. The meat is never frozen. It's 100% beef. Now I don't know how much DNA is in each burger. I don't did the research on that one. Fries are actually not frozen. They're not flash fried and then fried later. They cut the potatoes right there, put it in a machine, pull it down. It goes right into a basket. And they put it in the fryer. I mean, that's no preservatives, no nothing. I mean, that's straight. So In-N-Out Burger is actually, when I'm hankering for a burger, that's where I like to go to. And they're cheap. It's the cheapest place to get a hamburger is In-N-Out, and it's the freshest. Because that's their motto. If they can't deliver daily fresh, they don't put a store there. And I know this because I tried to franchise a while ago. And that's what they had told me. When I first moved to Arizona, I tried to franchise from California. They told me they couldn't do it because they couldn't get the vegetables there and the meat there on a daily. They couldn't do it daily, so they weren't going to open anything. But of course, all that changed because Laughlin had one, and then it moved to Phoenix, and I think Vegas has one now. So, but that's all changed, and of course, I missed that opportunity. But again, just think about what you're putting in your mouth and how many times you eat a day. And then all of that, I've learned too, that when you start eating the right foods, you're not hungry. You're not. You're just not hungry. I mean, I do fasting twice a week. And I was thinking about it the other day because I was talking to someone about it the other day. And I thought, Jesus, man, I almost fast like every single day and I don't even realize it. And when I say fasting, I mean, it's really simple to eat dinner, your last meal between, I don't know, let's just say 6 o'clock. I eat between 4 and 6, so it doesn't matter. But say you eat at 6 o'clock. Okay, you go to bed at 9 or 10, whatever. And if you want to snack between that, that's okay. Go get some blueberries or go get some raspberries, blackberries, a banana, orange, something like that. Go to bed. And the next thing you know, you get up at, I don't know. I work in aviation, so we always start real early in the morning. But let's hypothetically say you get up at 6. Okay, so from your dinner, 6 o'clock at night, to the time you woke up to 6, that's 12 hours, right? So don't get up and have this big ass breakfast. Get up and have a couple of raspberries, a couple of blueberries, a glass of water, or better yet, have some of the stuff I gave you, and don't eat till lunchtime, or don't eat till dinner. And you're going to find it's not that hard. It's really not. I mean, I was doing it without even realizing it, that I was hungry. And the more I do these mixtures that I'm bringing to you, I find the less and less hungrier that I am. And the one thing that's really blown me away is I used to be a chocolate junkie. I mean, I just had to have chocolate every single day of my life. It was like a heroin, like coffee was. I don't crave that at all. None, zero. And it's bizarre. In fact, I've got some chocolate covered raisins that have been, I probably got to throw them away because they've been sitting up in the cupboard too long because I keep forgetting that they're there. And normally when I buy my chocolate covered raisins, they're gone like in 2 days. I'll sit there and just mow on them. But I just don't have that sweet tooth anymore. And it's really good. And I think that's helping with my weight loss actually, because I'm not eating all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy the show today. Again, I apologize that I'm late. I hate to be excusatory, but I've had issues, um, not drama, just issues. And I want to thank you again for joining in. And I'll probably do another show this weekend to kind of catch up, and then hopefully be on schedule next week. So I do apologize to everyone. Please keep watching my show. Spread my show around. Let other people watch it. Send it to people. It'd be really nice for me to start growing a little bit. I've been doing this for a while now, and I think about ready to expand. But anyway, go ahead and share me. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, send it off, throw it on Facebook, throw it on X, throw me out there, and see what people think and whatnot. Anyway, have a great day, and thank you for joining the Todd Worsham Show. Thank you. It's weird. It's not stopping. Oh, nothing but. Why is it doing that?